Hello, everybody. Let's see. Wow, I got people here already. Cool. That is cool. Hello, hello, hello. Let me get this open here. Hello, everybody. Let's see. Wow, we got Billy, MPN, Laz already. Wow. Cool. Cool. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, Billy, I just got your message. For which one? The white one? You talking about the white roads? MPN. I know you're oh, the blue one, the one you just did? Yeah, I'm trying to see. I can't add the with the free StreamYard. I can't add the chat on the main screen. But okay, forfeit. You're talking about the blue one you just did, though, right? The one you just posted pictures of. If that's the one you're talking about, yeah, I would do it. Do it in a heartbeat. Yep, I'd take it. I would. Give him the cheaper. Put the excuse me, with the cheaper of the two cases. I would do that. Lewis, hey, what's happening? Uh, Mr. Mick, there he is. Hello, Mr. Mick. I'm sorry, I got the chat here, and then the camera's here. Then for me to type, it's down here. So I'll be going like this. What's happening, Lewis? I got stuff blinking everywhere. Ah, man. Okay. Is Laz still here? Or did he just stop in and say hi and that was it? Mr. Mick. Mr. Mick, Mr. Mick. All right. Cool. Yeah, Billy, that's a killer deal for that guitar. So there you go. Mr. You sure you don't work for Dan? Ah, well, thank you, Lewis. Anything before we go to the bench while I'm here? Anything you guys want to talk about right away? Any questions? Yeah, Billy, you should be working for Dane. Let's see. MPN. MPN, I'll shoot you a message. I'm live. And let's see. Something from where'd that go? Peggy. Thumbs up, Peggy. And Chris King. Chris, I don't know if you're watching. So, what's the name of this watch? This is a You can't see it. Invecta. My daughter bought this for me about 3 years ago. Weighs about a pound. Wait a minute. Who asked that? Mr. Mick. Yeah. Invecta. I don't know what model it is. I know they make a bunch of them. I've had this for probably, well, it was 2 years ago. This Christmas was 2 years, so 2 years and 3 months. I've had it. Peggy, hello, 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 hello. Now I can't get it back on. Yeah, I like these Invecta watches because the they're big. They're big and heavy. So I guess Laz just dropped in. Laz had sent me a message too. Hold on. Let me see what it was. Or was it? No? I don't know. He sent me a video. He was playing a Kramer, uh, not the red one. He was playing a white one. I'm glad everybody's in here saying hi to everybody. That's cool. That is very cool. Today, I'm going to be working on I'll show the neck for Laz's guitar. The body is out in the garage. Excuse me. But the neck is done. Frets are all done. The locking nuts back on it. The logo's on it. It's covered up. I have everything but the tuners. Which is weird because I do have the tuners for it. But here's the issue. They are StewMac tuners, and problem being is hold on. Problem being is I went to put them in, and I got all 6 of them in, and I started putting the 10 millimeter cap over top and screw it down, and one of them it would not go in. So I thought, okay, I took one of the other ones out, tried to put it in. It wouldn't go in either. So it's not the 10 millimeter top part that screws in. It's the actual tuner itself. I don't know if there's a burr inside of it in the inner threads or the threads aren't cut right. I'm not sure. So I did send a video to Laz, and he was supposed to get hold of StewMac, see if they want to replace just that one tuner or all 6 of them. So the neck is done except for the tuners. Did I pick up the paint booth yet? No, Wednesday. Actually, I'm going Wednesday. I rented a truck from Enterprise, and I pick it up at 9 a.m. And my buddy Jed and I are not Jedi. Jed and I are driving 2 hours, pick it up, going to grab a quick lunch, and 2 hours back. And then I got to put it out in the garage. I won't be able to set it up right away because my mother sold my dad's 1968 Mustang, and so his IROC, which I now have, his IROC show car, is actually covered up with it's got a car cover on it, then blankets on top of that, and it's on 4 of the roller dollies. So we got it pushed against the wall. Where that Mustang sat for 47 years is now going to be my work area, because it's a 3.5 car garage. So the IROC is up against the one wall, what I started doing is redoing the garage. The IROC's against the wall. I have the Hummer in there, and I moved a bunch of stuff, built a big thing of shelves for those big containers that, like, you go to Lowe's, those black and yellow containers, the black base, the yellow lid. We have a storage section now, and I think there's 16 of those on it. And then where the Mustang sat is now the work area. I have 2 big tables, and they're portable. I mean, they're solid oak tables, but I put feet or rollers on one with locks, and I have to do the other one, and sorting through stuff. So I'm like between, say 1 out of 10, 10 being the garage was a mess, one being finished, I'm probably about a 4. So I got to get that little section finished, and then I could set the paint booth up. I'm going to have to put it in a corner, and then it's got the heavy duty professional vent sits on top. So as it's sucking all the dust and everything up through it, and I got to run a vent out, filtered vent out through the roof of the garage. So I get it Wednesday, but it won't be up for a couple weeks. So, and Enterprise, the whole truck for the day was, well, I can tell you here in a minute. Where'd my phone go? Here. So I pick it up at 9 a.m. Wednesday, and the whole cost, here's my, I don't want to show the reservation number, but there's the reservation confirmed. That's the truck. When I pick it up, estimated total at the counter, can't beat this. So I got a total of $87 invested in a $4,000 paint booth. So I can't beat that. That will be that'll be Wednesday. Then I will have it, and it'll be it. Right now it's apart. So if you look at the photo of it again, there's 4 or 3 sides that are 4 foot. Let me figure out where there are 4. Yeah. So the back section's 4 foot wide. The 2 sides are 4 foot by 8 foot. Then the top, I'm assuming, is 4 foot by 4 foot. Then that big motor on top. So it's a 1, or you can wire it 1 or 3 phase. So it's actually going to be single phase for me out in the garage here. So I'll be able to hang the guitar bodies in there, and then turn the exhaust fan on, which will take everything up through it. And we'll be able to do some very clean paint jobs. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, wait a minute. Are you guys still talking, or is it not working? It says I'm live. 10 people here. You know that I put a heater out in the garage, and here's the thing: the heater's going to be. My garage is there's a. It's 3.5 cars wide by 26 feet deep. Then there's a regular door here and a door on this side. Then the main door is a 16-foot door, so you pull 2 straight in, or you can go in on an angle, which is where my work area is going to be. I have a heater put in by this door, but the booth's going to be in this corner. So I thought about I might be able to either add another heater or run some kind of ductwork into it because heat rises, so I'd have to run it into the bottom of the paint booth and just get an individual heater and do that. And as long as I can have the guitar itself, stay warm, I should be able to. So we'll find out. I mean, good thing is that, I'm getting it Wednesday. Within a few weeks, it'll be set up. And then that gives me all summer to work on it to figure out how I can keep going through the winter. Now, obviously, like this year here, when it was, -5 regular temperature, then wind chill -25 or 30, that's going to be hard to paint in there because the garage was only like 10 degrees inside. So I'm pretty sure I will be limited, but hopefully not as often. So I should be able to paint more days than not if everything goes good. So if I could get the whole garage, because the garage is cinder block, and then I did put a 1-inch insulation. The silver looks chrome like. I did put the roof where the rafters were. I did put it filled up there, and then I didn't do where the Mustang was because the Mustang was there in the way. So that's the work area now. So that's still open rafters, but I did put that hexagon lighting all over it. So I don't know. I have to figure out something up. But that's a good thing with it happening now. That'll give me the rest of this year, from now till end of October to figure out something. So I'm hoping I can go and only have to stop maybe like from the middle of December to February. And if or like middle of December to the middle of February, so those 2 months, so I'll be able to paint paint 10 months out of 12 instead of 7 months out of 12. With any luck, I hope so. But it gives me a while to work on it, so that's the good thing. All right. Okay, so any other questions? Any other questions, comments, and or concerns? Yeah, Peggy, because I hate, Dane sent me his guitar and it was right on that threshold. And by the time I was able to start on it and got it ready to paint, then all of a sudden it was like temperatures just dropped. So it's done. Dane's guitar is done. I got the body work done on it. I got the headstock. The headstock itself was not cracked, but the finish had a crack in it that started in, well, I don't know, there was a crack or a big dent crease, I should say, in the headstock of that one from Dane's. Is like someone had, it really took a fall and smacked off of something. It didn't break the headstock, but it took the finish down and then also creased the wood pretty bad. So I was able to fix that. So I got that done. And then he sent me a new bridge he wanted to use on it. And the bridge, the post for the new bridge were only half the size, half as round as the holes that were in it for the stock bridge. So I had to plug those, re-drill them. So I got it all, it's all ready to paint. As soon as I paint it, it's done. But I just haven't been able to do it because of the weather. So, but I got it right at the wrong, by the time I got it ready to paint, it was already dead winter here. So, and last year I was able to paint clear up into December. And then I started right in the beginning of February because it wasn't that cold here. This year was coldest it's been and the most snow that it's been in years. When I in the 70s and when I was a kid here, it was like this, all snow every year like this. Then, through the 90s of 2000 it stopped. Now it's starting again. Oh, all right. Anything else? Mr. Mick, those working out for you? The other ones? Now, I will tell you and MPN, as soon as Flash Forge figures out what they are going to do, either send me another new printer or figure out how to fix this one. Either way, when it's fixed or a new one gets here, Mr. Mick, you're getting, a couple more of those in the black. MPN, you're going to be getting your stuff in the blue. And then I'll be able to start making more stuff for other people. So with that said, good. I'm glad they're working for you. And it's going to be the new design where the thumb turner and the post, you put the post in and you actually glue those two together. So you can put the paper in, you don't have to take it apart. No, not yet, Peggy. I'm actually emailed them three times. And I'm waiting on replies. So I don't know what they're planning on doing. Because I've done everything with the program for that fret polisher. I deleted it completely from the computer and from the back, the log on the printer itself. Reset the printer 3 or 4 times to factory specs, back to reset factory. Then went, downloaded the polisher again, a whole new set of files, put it in there, and it's still doing it. So that's where they're going to have to step into it and say, hey, look, this is the issue, or it is the printer again. So I don't know. So I am working on it, and then once it gets resolved, you guys will get your all of the rest of the stuff. I know Mad Hatter got the box I sent him. Billy Ray, you got your tools and your bench rest. Billy Ray, do you like the bench rest or the neck rest? I know Dane got his because he sent me a thank you text message. So I'll be making more of those and everything else. So with that being said, let me put it on here. Mad Hatter, your ears must be burning. I just said that. Well, thank you, Billy. All right, let me get this on here so I can take this over. So I can see what you guys are saying. Live. Okay. All right. Let me switch cameras here. I have an issue with my FireFly. Buck Owens. It's got a real bad hum in it. I don't know if there's a wire touching or I need to shield it. Let me switch cameras. Here we go. And I'm gonna work on this, but I'm going to show you the neck for Laz's guitar, like I said, which is done all except for the pickups. So let me go over there. I'm going to take the headphones off. I'll have to check real quick, make sure it's working over there, but it should be. You guys hear me? Turn this up quick. I think there's a 7 to 10 second delay. All right. Yep, you can hear me. Turn this up. Okay. So I sent one of these to Billy Ray, which he got today. They're turnable, and it's not. I don't have plastic to plastic. There's actually a set of washers between these, so you're good to go. If it ever loosens up, put a wrench on it, and tighten it. This has a bad hum in it. So, oh wait, I don't want to use the Charvel stool. Hear the creak. Go back to the old wood stool that doesn't rotate. It has his neck. Oh, somebody's neck. One of you guys will be owning. If you're a member of Laz's channel, it has nothing to do with this channel, other than the fact that you just get to see what I work. Let me show you here. Some Well, I only have a little bit over 2 hours left of free streaming time here. So let's see. Alex. Hey, Alex. Mad Hatter. That's cool. I'm glad it worked for you, Mad. All right. So here is the neck. You can see how nice the frets are now. No cutting your fingers, no slicing the gloves like they did the first time I showed them. And I'm squeezing. Yeah, no cut. So this is how shiny. And then I put a real bar on it because the bar that came on it was only about a third of the thickness of that. Then there's the Kramer logo. I left the red in there because it'll go with the body. Now you won't see the red paint in here because the tuners are, we'll cover that up. But the decal's on. It's got a satin finish to it. Looks completely factory. See? Yeah, I wanted to leave the red in there, just tie the two together. And that's an actual Floyd Rose German bar. So that's all nice, and no cuts, no ripping of the rubber gloves. I did put one other decal on it though. Allows will probably take it off. I had like 3 of those little decals. Thank you to Bay Area Rich. He had bought a whole sheet of these decals for me, different sizes, and the Johnny Bean ones too. So now the tuners, I showed this to Labs too. These tuners obviously screwed in. The ones he got from StewMac, there's no screw. They're the Fender style. So they're the same size as this, but they have 2 little points that stick out of the back, the tuner. So when you tighten the front on, it'll put into the body and lock it in place. So you're still going to see those holes on there. Now, I don't know, if they're going to replace the whole set, if he's going to get a different set, or they're just going to replace the one. That looks like factory. It looks like that's how that came. So unless he gets one that uses the screws, you are going to see those screws. But I put that on there figuring, you know what? I'm basically building this whole guitar so I can put my decal on there. And it don't have to stay. It was just something, I thought maybe he might look at it and think it's funny or just get mad and take it off. But yeah. So and these were bad. I mean, these were really bad. I was surprised how crappy these frets were on this guitar. Like I said, on the neck alone, I got over 4 hours. 4 hours of actual work, not, So anyhow, that is the neck that somebody will be playing on. I don't store my necks laying down, and I don't let anything lay on them. They are all hanging straight, so you always have the neck always in its natural position with no extra weight on it. So, and I put this together. Still has plastic on the pick guard, but this is from the parts that Bay Area Rich ordered, had sent here. So now I need to get another strap body, but check it out. So it's going to look, it's kind of dull or whatever. It's because the plastic's still on that. And I have gold tip put on that too. These are the pickups that Bay Area Rich purchased and sent here. They are basically humbuckers, and they're putting out 9.4, I think, ohms. Each one of them, they were all identical. So I got to wire it up. I put the switch in. It's a USA switch. Then I got to find a strap body. I was thinking either a gold one or a black one. And I have gold screws for the pick guard too. Yes, Lewis, they are. 4-wire conductor. So kind of neat. Speed knob instead of the top hat. So gold tip, gold here, black. Thinking I need to get a gold strap body for that Leo Jams kit again. Like I got the red one. It'd be nice to get the gold kit and use this on it. So I put this last night. I was just sitting here and I thought, I'll just throw this together and get it ready to go. So I don't know what these sound like yet, but I know they got some nice power to them. And the shielding was on this pick guard already. And let me tell you something about when you have this pick guard, anybody that's going to do this, when you shield it, the issue is not building, a lot of people think let's, basically build a Faraday cage, like I put in the Kramer. But when you have this type, this is the best place to shield it. Yeah, you can put it down in the body, in the cavity. That's all going to help.
but to get the most out of it, you'll see usually when you get a pick guard, you only see that much shielded, just where the pots are. Do the whole thing. It works better if you get it up here. There's still going to be a little bit of a leak around here, and that can't be helped. But it's best basically just to cover at least this much, if not the entire pick guard. You'll notice a big difference. Trust me on that one. Just back up here. So I have that ready. So that's ready to go as soon as I get a strap body. Like I said, that gold Leo James kit would be perfect for that. This is not coffee, it's hot chocolate. Well, I take that back. I should say cold chocolate now. Oh, Laz, you were here. Let me show you your neck. Just missed it. Just showed everybody. Here you go, sir. Nice little mirrored fret that there is no, you're not going to feel any drag with strings on it whatsoever. Do any bends. Edges are nice. No more cutting. Last time it sliced this rubber on these gloves with hardly any pressure. It sliced them. So now I'm like, really? Yeah. I put a German Floyd post on it because the one that came on it was only about a third that thickness and it would almost bend. So I threw it away. I left the red in here to kind of tie it together with the body. So, and then I did put this on it though. I don't know. I thought you might laugh or take it off. The Fretworks logo on the back. It's a decal. You can put it off. You don't want it on there. So, but yeah, there we go. Nice neck. Got your ready to go. So that is one of those decals. I only got like 3 left. Those little ones. That's the ones that Rich bought me a set and bought Johnny Bean a set for him. When I put it on there, I thought, you know, I'm gonna throw it on there. So yeah. But I like the little. I was going to take that red out of there, and I thought, you know what? No, leave it in there because it kind of ties it into the body. So, but yeah, that turned out really nice. Took forever with aerosol paint, clear, but it is satin clear, matches the rest of everything. Really nice. So there you go. Did you hear anything from Stumac about the tuners yet? So yeah, this is going to be very, and it's a nice grip, not a fat baseball neck. It's a nice neck. So someone's going to enjoy it. Oh, okay. All right. Well, if you know, other than the tuners, the neck's done. So body's out in the garage. So this, glad you got this, Billy Ray, and glad you like it. Hope Dane uses his. Turn this around. Harbor Freight, man, get these for like $2, $3. Well, $2 for the little one, $3.50 for this bigger one. But you can't beat it. And you talk about, I want that. Watch. Throwing it, and there it is. Okay, so why is this developing a hum? You have anything touching on the switch? Just can't flip it over to tell. Yeah. There's touching that shouldn't be. That's when sometimes when you get wires like this in a straight line in such a compact area, what will happen is they'll get pinched, and then you'll get the bare spots shouldn't be touching, overlap, touch, and creates issues. Which I'm hoping that's what's wrong with this. That's an easy fix. Maybe someday. Well, okay. That. See anything? Okay, like right here. There. That was clear over to there. Round, attached, attached. This is representative of an old that would be from here to here. So that's modern capacitor. If you go to here and over, that changed it to like the 60s style, I believe. So we've got nothing hitting. Thing to be. So got bridge connection. None of the connections look bad.
like how that close, but I can't tell if it was. Nothing looks like it's a cold solder or crack. The plugs move kind of easy. On the inside, the outside. These. Watch this one right here. Watch this one right here. And then this one here. Or no. Yeah, that one. Look. It's connected these two, which is supposed to be, but look how. But I still don't think that would be an issue. You know, I never had this off. The white. Let me turn this and use it as a phone stand. There we go. Let me see here. Let me loosen this up. Take this pick guard off. Use my trusty Ernie ball. Sorry for the noise. Get on her. And that's why Janice quit watching these shows, because of the noise. The bench shows, that is. Although apparently I only have to worry about it on my shows. Bench noise like that, so. Let's see. Let's go here. Let's go here. I think, yeah, I should be able to get that out now. I'll flip it back around. Oh, Rich, you're here now. You weren't here. I still have the plastic on it, but I threw that together. I got a gold tip for this too. So it still has the plastic coating. I need to get a strap body, and I was thinking the gold Leo Jams kit, like the one you got for Johnny. This would go gold good. Gold go. This will gold go. It would go good on a gold guitar. These put out 9.4 ohms each of them. They're all identical. So all 4 conductor. So I would like to hear what they sound like. That's different. Some of the rosewood shavings. Or neck repairs. A crack, a fretboard crack. I'm thinking if this is not shielded, I should
put some copper shielding under here and pop these off, put some on here. So we have a 500K volume pot and a 250K tone pot. I would love to put some Seymour Duncan quarter pounders in this thing. I think that would sound so cool. Oh. You want to just let me cut the string and I'll put a new set on. Dang it. And by the way, I've done really, really good, Peggy. You'll be shocked. Okay, I got to pop the neck off to get this out of here. You'll be really, really shocked, Peggy, that my cussing pretty much, not just on the video games, just in general. Two different lengths, are they? Nope. Okay. Get this off the bench so it don't fall and hit. Okay, good. Let's turn this back over. And let's see what we got here. Not shielded at all. Although it does have the good cloth wires, Gibson style wiring. Got some shielding paint in it. Greasy. Hello, sir. So, so I'm going to shield everything. I don't see any broken solder joints, broken wires. There was only one wire that I'm not even sure it was touching. It was awful close. But, so I shield all this. There was nothing. I mean, there's no cold solder joints. None of the joints are cracked. Everything looks to be pretty solid. It's just these two right here, the middle one and this one, both like that. So good there. So I'm going to shield this, and I'll take these three things off, and let's pick up out, shield all this, put it back together. Then I'll take this out and see what we got under here. So tape. No, Lewis, unfortunately, I can't do that. I don't have anything over here at the bench to do that with. I mean, if I put it back together and it's still doing it, get some alcohol and wipe this down. Wood all over this. Rough edges. I mean, they're not rough to where they. I do need to cut this apart. Yeah, they look worse than they are. Thought maybe they'd catch you, but they don't. All right. Back on the table behind me here. And if anybody is interested, brushes wood chips off here. I know I've said this before, and I'll continuously say it, but I will argue with Johnny over a dirty workbench to a clean dirt bench. Clean dirty workbench. I know his Gemini assistant said that a dirty workbench looks more interesting, looks like you're busy. Yeah. it was me taking a guitar to be worked on, and a workbench was filthy like that, and whoever, not, I don't mean Johnny, but whoever working on it, they wouldn't be working because that's 100 more chances to damage the guitar body or whatever. And your workbench itself, the way I look at it, shouldn't be what determines whether or not you're busy or not. Your work is what should determine that, not the way the bench looks. And I know a couple people that have benches filthy. And more often than not, there's been damage done to a guitar accidentally because something hit it, or they set it down on something and didn't realize something was in the way. I mean, I know that's been a running joke between us for a couple of years. But guy who in St. Clairsville, Ohio, I missed that. His workbench was a mess, and he was working on a Les Paul Custom, like it was either late 70s, the 80s, and he changed pickups and stuff in it. Then when he gave it back to the guy, it had a gigantic scratch across the back of the guitar because there was something on the bench that he was flipping around, turning it, twisting it, and just he ended up having to pay. Not only did the guy get the new pickups for free and the labor for free, he also had to pay another luthier to completely repaint the guitar, all because the workbench was dirty. And I know I say it all the time because of my dad. His toolbox looked like Johnny's bench. Not Johnny bench, but Johnny's bench. And I spent a lot of time cleaning that thing just and looking for tools. That's why I ended up being the way I am when it comes to that stuff. But like I said, nothing to do with Johnny. I'm talking about a guy here local that happened to. And the owner of the Gibson was not happy. Because it completely got refinished back to original, but it was no longer original. That was his whole point. And from that point on, the store owner made sure that bench was spotless from that point on. The guy almost lost his job over that. And he is a heck of a guitar repair person. There's not too much that he can't do. he was, you know, but he did admit to me, because I used to tease him all the time, like I do Johnny about his band. So, man, that's crazy. Take an hour or 2 hours or whatever and organize it. He would never do it. Then after he did it, he's like, you know what? It's extremely easy to keep it clean. I said, yeah, no kidding. So what do you think I've been telling you for 15 years? So now he keeps his workbench spotless. Actually got more work out of it, more customers. Has never had that issue again, but it's an expensive lesson to learn. I know Johnny's working on his own guitars, so still, in my opinion, there's no excuse for that. And I'm sure if Johnny was working on other people's guitars like I do, he probably wouldn't. It wouldn't be like it is. He probably would clean it up some. So you got to take that in consideration too, you know. Like I said, I have regular customers that I work on guitars monthly. And a lot of times I have them down here when I'm doing it. And, you know, I don't want them to see a messy bench and have to worry about something happening, chip or a scratch or whatever. It just, I don't know. I can't explain it, Peggy. I mean, my grandfather was like this. Everything was clean and organized. My dad's dad. He used to come down. He retired. He retired from Navistar, well, International. When he actually started at the factory here in town, my grandfather, we'll see how old you guys are. The factory was originally built by Kaiser Fraser. Anybody knows what that is? National Harvester bought it off of them 50. But when my grandfather started with them, it's Kaiser Fraser, and he was there when it became International. He was an inspector for International. Him, my grandfather, being 101st Airborne 2, he was not in Easy Company, Band of Brothers, but he was at the Battle of the Bulge and in first there. He always, every memory of my grandfather was very organized. I don't know why my dad wasn't when it comes to this stuff. Everything else he was. I mean, my dad was councilman, then president of the council, then mayor. Hung out with governors in Ohio. I've been to the governor's mansion. I don't know how many times when it was Governor Dick Celeste. And then Governor Gilligan. So when it comes to that stuff, my dad was right on. Come to his toolbox. He just never could figure that out. Yeah, man. My grandfather was 101st Airborne, fought German in Germany. There was four brothers. One was in Pearl Harbor when it got attacked. He was on the Oklahoma, the one that flipped over. So he got out of that. He survived the war. And then their other brother, my Uncle Eli, was Marine. And he fought Saipan, Iwo Jima, all that. He was shot in the shoulder, but he survived. My grandfather survived Germany. And their other brother, which if Rich is still here, Rich knows a story about, he was killed in Philippines by the Japanese. And this almost looks like it's got a plastic. I want to get the mirrored one, not just the metal one. So that's done. So I can put the pickup back in here. And that's the song I wrote, Mad, called For Some Strange Reason. It was about my Uncle Charlie. And just to make a long story short, he's buried there in the Philippines. And it was his choice. Their parents had passed away by the time the war started. So my grandfather being the oldest, my Uncle Charlie told him, he said, well, he's like, hey, if I get killed, wherever I get killed, don't bring me home. So grandfather was still in Germany when he got the news about his younger brother. And it was up to him, and he followed his younger brother's wishes. And he's buried in the Philippines and was never able to visit or see the gravestone. And this past October, Rich, very Rich, and I will be forever grateful to him for this, basically filled in for my family. And they did a little ceremony and sent me all kind of stuff, which I did send them stuff, Rich, if you're still here. And stood in for basically for my family and brought back a bunch of photos and videos, a bunch of paperwork. So even though, we're not blood, as far as I'm concerned, that makes Rich from my family. For that, Rich, forever grateful. Thank you, sir. And there's the song I wrote, Mad, called For Some Strange Reason, is because, and Rich has seen the letter, I've showed it on the shows before. On February 23rd, he was killed on February 22nd, 1945. My grandmother, which would have been his sister-in-law, had written him a letter he'd received a couple weeks prior to that, like in the beginning of February, but he did not have time to finish it, to write back. So on February 22nd, 1945, he writes a letter. And the first line in the letter is, "For some strange reason, I had the urge to write today. So I'll answer your letter from a few weeks ago." And he's talking about my dad because my dad was would have been 2 years old on the 27th of February in 45, or 3 years old. So I would have been 3 years old. And my Uncle Charlie had never seen my dad. So he was talking in the letter about can't wait to come home because he only had like 3 or 4 days left. He's going to get shipped out to come home. But that's the opening line. "For some strange reason, I had the urge to write today." Less than 24 hours later, he was killed. So I actually put all that down in a song called "For Some Strange Reason." And with stuff that Rich and his wife did when they were down there, because it just completed it for me, and I was able to do it. So, saying they know when something's going to happen, I have no idea. And he had just been promoted, and what had happened is they were getting mortar fire, the Japanese, and I guess they had dug foxholes, and it's weird because it was actually my uncle and his stepbrother, my step uncle, were in a foxhole together, and what had happened is the guy in front of him was having a hard time setting up the machine gun. So my Uncle Charlie starts to get up, said he's going to go help him, and my step uncle said, "No, you got promoted. You're soft here." He said, "Man," he's like, "just order someone else to do it." And my uncle was like, "No, I'll be." So he jumps out of their foxhole, runs over to the foxhole with the other guy, and they start working on that machine gun. And no sooner than that, the mortar landed in that foxhole and blew them both pieces. Thank you so much, Rich. Please, film it for me, please. That would be wow, that would be amazing. So, not that there was much left to bury anyhow, because my step uncle, when he came home, he was telling the families, he said, "I heard it coming in, and then I just saw a spray of red." He said, "Then I ran up to the foxhole." He said, and, I'm sure he told them, more than I ever heard, but he said there was really not much left. But my grandfather lived till 1999, still wondering if he did the right thing. He was 88 years old when he died, when my grandfather died. And he didn't die from bad health. He died from an operation. He didn't look 88. He looked like he was in his 60s. And he never got to go down there to see his brother's grave. None of us did. My dad and I always talked about taking Grandpa down there, and we never did. And then my dad and I never went. So Uncle Charlie has never had anybody from the family at the gravesite. And Rich was able to do that for me and filmed it and everything. And that means the world to me. Like I said, as far as I'm concerned, Rich is in my family. I'm not just saying that. I truly think that way now. So I never got to meet my Uncle Charlie either. Obviously, if my dad was just going to be 3. But I've seen pictures my whole life and heard stories. They said Charlie, all 4, the 4 brothers, my grandfather, my Uncle Eli, my Uncle Mike, who was the one at Pearl Harbor, and then Charlie, they were all 4 boxers. And my grandfather and my Uncle Eli actually had done professional boxing in the 30s, late 30s. And I remember them saying that, Charlie always smiling. Never saw him without a smile. But if they went to a boxing ring, that Charlie could take either of them. So Rich doing that meant more than words can express. Now, I'm not just saying that. That's honest to God's truth. And when Rich got back, he'd sent me all the stuff that they gave him. The cemetery gave him a bunch of paperwork to send to me, to give to me on my uncle. And then I sent copies of the letter down to them, because I guess they, some families come down there and are able to visit. And one thing that got me is Rich. Rich said they came out and they cleaned his gravestone up, and they're all like a white marble, and it's just engraved into it. He said, so they put like you say, Rich, a mud pack kind of thing, like a mud pack. They cleaned it, then smeared the stuff on it to darken in the lettering so you could read it and see it. And then he said they did like a little ceremony, and him and his wife stood there for me and my dad. So I will always be grateful to Rich for that, and his wife. I'm trying not to tear up here. Yeah, but my grandfather, to the day he died, he always wondered if he made the right decision, because he actually would have rather brought Charlie home, bury him next to their parents. but he followed his brother's wishes. And it was funny when Rich had told Johnny and I that he was going down there to visit for that time. I almost asked him that first day I heard about it if he would stop there for me. Then I thought, you know what? No, it's his vacation. I'm not going to ask him to do anything like that. And then he was already there. And then I got a text from him, and, he was talking about everything that was going on down there. And he said something about, and I think he said something like, tomorrow we're going to the Manila Cemetery. And then that's when I thought, well, if you're already going there. So I asked him. And Rich, being the man he is, he jumped right on that for me. So Rich is has done more than just support this channel and Johnny's channel. And it was funny, Rich sent me a picture from their room, and it was overlooking the cemetery, more or less. I was like, wow, I didn't realize you were that close. Someday I want to go there. I really do. But the part that got me is there was a Manila or a Philippines flag. They put a Philippines flag and an American flag right next to Uncle Charlie's marker. And Rich sent a picture and then was telling me about it. And then he said that when they have visitors, basically family visitors to the graves, they put the flags out. But he had sent me a bunch of photos of the graveyard, at least in my uncle's area, and I hardly saw any flags, which, that kind of made me sad too, because those guys are down there, and sure, not all of them had family. Be able to come visit them. And Rich is also a veteran. I'm going to tell him, Rich, he even played a song Rich did for all of them, for all the veterans, while he was standing there, or while he was in the I don't know what you call it. Ed, have a good night, brother. I'm looking forward to this guitar mafia. I can't wait to get working on that stuff. Really, really, really looking forward to that. Have a good night, man. $17,000 American servicemen there. And Rich, you were there. How many of the flags did you see around the stones? I mean, I know there were some, but not that many, right? That's sad itself right there. Not that many. And I'm sure there's more of them like Uncle Charlie, that's never had a family there. I know it bothered my grandfather. I know it did. My Nona would always tell me, like Memorial Day and stuff like that, Grandpa would always get, and then when it come time, obviously the day he died, I do remember the stories and stuff, and that, that's kind of what I put in that song. Anytime, three brothers got together, always comments about Uncle Charlie, and then big family functions. People always, Charlie did this, and he was always smiling, and just remember feeling, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine making that decision. No, he wanted them here with their parents. They wanted to be able to go to the grave and see him. So to live all that time wondering if you did the right thing, and then never being able to go to the grave yourself, I couldn't imagine that. So again, there's no wire. You know what? No wires in here touching each other, except that one. It's awful. It's close again. So see if I can. Those two separated. That right there. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to get off on that. Bring anybody down. No broken connections, no cold wire. They're solders. And those wires aren't going to get close to that now. Now, okay. Are we catching on in here? Okay. Oh man. I know it may seem strange to some people, but I actually love working on guitar. I mean, I sit down here now. Since my buddy Jed, he actually started his own business. And so he's not up all nights now playing video games. So what time is it? I forgot. I only got. Okay. I got till 11:30. And I'm out of time pretty much. That'll leave me with like 20 minutes left, I think. So I'll leave, like I'll be done here, and then I'll go jump on the video games for maybe an hour and a half. Then I come back in here and I'm working on guitars till 4 or 5 in the morning. I've always been. I used to love midnight shift. Beth, not so much, but I did. Okay, so we got all that done. I'll shield properly. I put these two strings underneath the. Those are under the pick guard. There we go. This thing plays so nice. This guitar. And Rich, thank you. This guitar was gifted to me by Rich. Thank you, sir. My first and only FireFly. And I grew up watching Buck Owens on Hee Haw. So, and I remember then as a kid thinking, his Telecaster, and he had an acoustic that was painted like this, and he had, I think it was a Strat that was painted like this too. And I remember as a kid thinking, wow, these are so cool. I watched a documentary on YouTube a week or so ago, Peggy, if you liked Hee Haw, on the two brothers, the twins. It's on YouTube. They're both gone now. put some wax on this. Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's free. Just type in, I want to say Haggerty. That's not right. Whatever their names were. It shows them, before they got on Hee Haw, during Hee Haw, and then everything they went through after. It was very interesting. They had a hard time after Hee Haw because they were so recognized on that show. The price tag. Yep. I love that show. But then I've always liked, I always liked Roy Clark, Jerry Reed, Merle Haggard. All those guys that was on that show. Lefty Frizzell. Hank Jr. was on that show in the late 70s, I believe, or early 80s. I know he was on the show, or he might have been on it a few times. Junior Samples, BR549. It's funny how you can't remember your passwords on your computer, but you can remember BR549 and 8675309. Goes to show you the power of music. And I know I've said this before, and it's just, obviously I never listened to it or I would remember it. But I remember them saying that there was a piece of music by Mozart. Matter of fact, when I took classical music in school, in college, the professor was talking about it, and there was a certain piece of music that the Russians found out that if you studied with this playing in the background, it helped you retain what you were learning. Now, obviously, I didn't study with that in the background because I can't remember which piece it was, but I do remember them saying that. So while all their special agents and stuff were training, this was always playing in the background. I just wish I could remember what it was. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Every time I look at this, the first thing goes across my mind is he's a picking and I'm a grinning. Way to go, Greasy. I did put a pure tone in here. Right when I got this. Matter of fact, the day I unboxed it, was either that night or the next day, I ordered a gold pure tone to put in it. Every guitar that I own, or pretty much every guitar that comes across this workbench, because even customers, I tell them, hey, I'm upgrading to pure tone. Well, if that's what it takes, I said, oh, believe me, especially if you're playing on stage and you're not using a wireless and you just step on your chord and it pops right out real easy. With a pure tone, that also, not only do you get 3 more connection points, but it also grips it so much better. So it's not so easy to come out of the plug's not that easy to come out like that. And I've been using them, I couldn't tell you how long. So the guitars that get donated to other people, oh wow, have pure tones in them. My guitars have pure tones in them. And pretty much all my customers' guitars have pure tone jacks in them. Wish Pure Tone would sponsor me. That'd be nice. Now you got me singing that in my head, Greasy. Well, are you? Yeah, Hee Haw was funny. What's my preference? Well, when we were, mind you, it's been other than playing at a church, I haven't been on stage with my band since October of 93. So that was what, 33 years ago? And I used wireless. As a matter of fact, I still have it. It's sitting over there. It's the Nady 201. It's got the 2 antennas. And it still works, believe it or not. So I always did that. Because the first few times the first time we played in 86, when the first time we played out live, I had a cord. And I ended up getting a 30-foot cord. And I can't tell you how many times the singer running around unplugged me. Then I did it where you ran the cord through the strap, right here, then plugged it in. And that helped. Although, you'd be playing and all of a sudden you get tugged like that. At least the cord didn't come out, though. And then when the 201s came out, because I was going to buy the 101, which was the same thing, but I just had one antenna. And when I went to look at it, they're like, well, they got a new one coming out shortly. And it was, within a year, the 201 version came out. So that's the one I ended up getting. And that's the only one I ever used. Never had an issue with it, ever. Like I said, it still works. And that made it so much nicer because go anywhere, didn't have any cord to worry about, or anybody tripping me or tripping themselves or unplugging me. I loved it. It was like freedom. More or less, it was freedom on the stage. So, we are running real low on time, and it renews on the 5th. So, I won't be on again till Thursday. Well, I hope it renews Wednesday night at midnight, so I can be on Thursday, because I'm going to do every Monday, except for Monday Night Football when the Steelers are playing, or unless something, came up, but I will let everybody know ahead of time. But I do plan on being on pretty much every Monday. And then, since I'm not on Johnny's Bench shows anymore, I'm going to do Thursdays too, before Laz's show. So it'll be from like 8 to 10 on Thursdays. And then usually I do 3 or 4 hours on a Monday, but I don't have that much time tonight. time left. So, and hopefully sometime this year I can afford to get StreamYard. I wish I could have had my wife not got laid off when she did. For Black Friday, they offered the whole year of the StreamYard for $150. It was regular 300 and some. So basically half price. That's when Laz bought it. I wanted to get it because I knew, eventually I was going to do this kind of a show too. But I had no intentions of doing anything but this, just bench work where I mean, I know this wasn't that exciting tonight, but like when I get the Kramer on here to finish putting it all together, stuff like that, big stuff. I'll show you guys how to lay out the body to route out for Floyd, because I have another guitar, actually 2 more guitars. I'm going to do that too. I'll do a complete refret job, pull the old frets off, new ones on here. That kind of stuff is what I want to do on here to show people. Ask questions, answer questions, whatever it takes. Get it done that way, and that's what I want to do. That's why I loved doing the bench shows on Johnny's show. So I'll just do this here then. But can get more involved with a little bit deeper projects. Well, I don't know about reshaping a neck because of the shavings, but yeah, I mean, I'll show pretty much anything that I can do it down here safely, and yeah, get all that going. Steve, hey, my brother from another mother. So, unfortunately, Steve, you come at a time I gotta pretty much call it quits because my time's running out on the free StreamYard. You only get 20 hours. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I did start it in January, and then like the last week of January, I got an email saying you're almost out of your 20 hours. I'm like, huh? So that's how I found that out. Searching, hey man. Okay, yeah, Rich, I have I do. I have a neck here. I need to do that. Well, one of these necks is yours and one is Laz's. Eric Clapton, for your Eric, your buddy guy neck here, and then Laz's. So other than that, I have 13 necks. There are 16 necks hanging here, but 3 of them aren't mine. One is Dane's, one is yours, Rich, and one Laz's, the rest are. And I have actually 2 of them. So yeah, I can do that. So I'm going to get into more stuff like I'm going to show you how to lay out the proper way to do a Floyd, do the refret on here. Pretty much anything. That's a factory, Jim. They got it glued in. Speaking of shims, well, before I say anything, where'd it go? there are these. You hear people say, you'll see people put like business cards. They'll cut a business card and use that. And eventually what happens is that crushes over time. So some people use sandpaper. Wow, that's not very smooth. Some people use sandpaper. Well, I found that on the 3D printer. I can print plastic as thick as I need it. If I just want to do a base shim like that, and I can also, and I have printed some out, full-size shims on a taper. And it's plastic, and it's not going to crush over time. So, and I'll show more of these, and I'll end up giving some stuff away, although I do sell these for $22.50. I gotta go buy the bolts, the wing nuts, the feet, and the padding. And I print this out. This one in purple, or with purple, and here is a purple one. So I pretty much do any color. And $22.50 includes everything, including the shipping, as long as it's in the continental United States. And they are adjustable. Just tighten it up. Want it tighter. So, anybody's interested. And then I also sell these. Brand new, but I install the jack just to plug it in, and you can instantly tell if your switch is working or if part of it's bad, and let you know what the output is on the pickup. So, there you go. No, well, I don't use the wireless in here, Louis. Down here at the desk, over there, and it actually is a studio, especially now since songs are getting actually done. But I'm only like 12 feet away from the amps, and then the Helix floor is right there on the desk, so I don't use anything wireless down here at all. Mary, I'll show you the backpack wireless. Yeah, this is from like 1987. Knew that the battery's dead. It was on. It's used quite a bit. This played all over the eastern United States. It was G1, and I remember we were playing a show. I think it was, we're opening for Circus of Power, and we went on to do a sound check, and my guitar was just blasting, which it did anyhow, but they couldn't do anything with it. Here, what it was is their singer had a native wireless mic, and it was G1 too. So his system was picking my guitar up. All right, guys, it's getting close for me to cut this up. So, I will be back Thursday. So if anybody's interested in one of these, email me, or one of the meters, email me. Like I said, for those of you who weren't here, I'm going Wednesday to pick up my new professional paint. I have to go to Columbus Wednesday to pick it up. And again, it won't be set up right away because I got to finish the garage area, and then I'm actually going to have to, in the corner, cut out a square this size so it goes up a little bit so I can mount everything, the fan and ductwork out through the roof. So I get that Thursday, and I get another 20 hours for free. I don't know if I'm going to be on Johnny's show Wednesdays, Fridays, or I have not, or ever again. I don't know. I have no idea. So if I don't see you Wednesday, then I will see everybody Thursday. And with that, everyone, let me switch over to the desk. I'm going to have to warm that hot chocolate up in the microwave. Because I am quickly running out of StreamYard time right here. Let me headphones back on so I can hear. Let me switch cameras. All right. So with that, everybody, thank you for hanging out. I hope to see you Wednesday. If not, I hope to see you Thursday. And anybody got any questions, email me right there. It's rgunner@065, not 0, number 0, or number 0. Well, 0 is not a number. So I know some people were putting 065 and it wasn't going through. So it is 065. And I'll answer anything that I can. If you got any ideas for the show, or you got any questions about your guitars, or if you have something you want me to work on for you, let me know. And with that, thank you, everybody. As Ozzy would say, I love you all. Sean! All right. Good night, everybody. And when you hit end stream, you actually got to hit it twice. So good night, and I will see you guys